Welcome to the Military Exchange Talk Show, and I'm your host, Corporal Tim Thornton, and I'm here today with Michael Karpovage. And Mike has written an excellent book before called A Crown of Serpents, and now he has a new book called The Map of Thieves. And this is Mike. Mike, if you could introduce the folks and tell them a little bit about yourself, and then, of course, about your awesome books.
Excellent. Thanks, Tim. Thanks for having me. And grew up in Western New York, attended RIT. I'm a professional artist, graphic design, illustration, well over 20 years. So I'm into the creative field, if you will. But also love history, and I love military history. And I wanted to, combine my interests into a different form of expression, and that's how I got into writing. I also am into Native American legend and lore and treasure hunting, and I'm also a Freemason too. So some of those combinations got me into the two books, the two mystery thrillers I have now.
Nice. Now, I've read this book, and this is your new book.
Mm-hmm.
This book was awesome. I enjoyed every part of it. I like the characters. The characters were home for me. I know it's based on upstate New York. It's based on the Mohawks, which I'm part of. Right?
Seneca Indians.
Seneca.
Yeah, Iroquois. Iroquois. So.
And I was an MP, so I related well with the character Jake, who was an Army officer, combat infantry. And then it has a Masonic thing, which you think I can tell that one part?
Sure.
Okay. Which I always found immediately interesting, because when I was military police down at Fort Hood, we were investigating the influence that the Masons had on higher-ranking military personnel, so that they actually controlled maybe the as things flowed through the military. Like, I don't mean equipment as much as control, command. So a sergeant in the Masons might actually be influencing a general in the Army who's lower in his Masonic steps.
I've never been in the military, but it's entirely possible, because when you're in a Masonic lodge, you're all equal. You're all on the level. So, for instance, Harry Truman, when he was president, his gardener was the master of the lodge. So his gardener had a higher authority than Harry Truman within the lodge. So it depends on who's the master of the lodge. You might have a little influence. It could be a higher ranking officer. So I'm not going to, deny that there could be a little influence that way. But
well, at least you actually had, if anything, imagine if you're Harry S. Truman and I'm the gardener. Now, how else would I ever get a chance to talk to you on an equal basis? But at least in the lodge,
you're all
I
equal.
Could sit there and talk to you, and you might entertain my thoughts.
Correct.
Therefore, I would have some influence.
And that's the beauty of Masonry. Doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, what background you come from, you're all equal brothers in the lodge. You all meet on the level.
Nice.
Yep.
So now back to the book. Well, this book, Map of Thieves. What can you tell us about this?
Okay, so Crown of Serpents was based here in the Finger Lakes of New York, around the Seneca Army Depot. We delved into Iroquois, Indian legend, and a Masonic battlefield incident that happened in the Revolutionary War. So then our characters, Jake Tanunda and Ray Hart, moved down to the state of Georgia, where I moved down to in 2008. So the new story, Map of Thieves, takes them to the state of Georgia, where now they're pursuing Civil War history, Cherokee Indian legend, and they're going after a master thief who ripped off, in a brazen daytime theft, ripped off some military artifacts from the West Point Museum, including a very famous Union Civil War general's hat and Adolf Hitler's golden pistol and Hermann Göring's baton. So the whole thing is, it's what was inside this hat's liner is a secret waybill of Cherokee Indian clues that leads to this hidden treasure in the North Georgia mountains of Cherokee Indians. And so one of the suspects in this crime happens to be an old World War II vet, Cherokee Indian, who's living in Savannah, and that's how our characters get down there.
Wow. What kind of... See, I like that, because you can relate to this book. And I think what especially is nice is the book that was written up for upstate New York. If you lived up here, you just go, well, wait a minute, I know where that place is, or I know about where that is. And, because it had something to do with Seneca Army Depot.
Yeah,
right?
Seneca Army Depot, the white deer.
Yeah.
The white deer herd. We had this a secret Indian cult called the White Deer Society. We had that in play. The Sullivan-Clinton campaign that came through during the Revolutionary War. So yes, there's familiar settings. There's scenes in Rochester and throughout the Finger Lakes. And so same thing in Map of Thieves. We have the Savannah Historic District. We have the characters going up into Atlanta. I have them in some of the nastiest sections of Atlanta. It's called the Bluff. 95% black, gangs, drugs, prostitution. And I even visited those places and took pictures, and I watched my back, because you'll get carjacked in a heartbeat, or drug dealers will come up to you in a heartbeat. And then we get up into the North Georgia mountains too, and these are based on true legends, true Cherokee Indian legends, based on my research that I did. So I'm taking the readers to very familiar places, and they love that. They love that stuff because they'll go out and they'll hunt themselves, if you will, too.
That's very cool. I've been to Atlanta, Georgia, and of course it's beautiful. And I would say I got a lot of friends that live down there. So any folks at home, the Georgia Bull, our co-host on the show, he's from there. So Georgia Bulldogs, Mike Karpovage, and the Map of Thieves. Tell everybody how they can get a hold of your book, Mike.
You can go to mapoftthieves.com, order the book there, right off my website. I can get you an autographed copy. Or you can go on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Smashwords, Kobo, to get all your, you can get print books and ebooks as well off of all those sites. So, definitely Amazon. So, you can Google my name. You'll find me there, Michael Karpovage.
Yep. And tell all your friends about this book. We highly recommend it at the Military Exchange. And this interview will be on our YouTube channel. Great.
All right.
Thanks
Mike.
Tim.
Thank you. Thanks for
Welcome.
having me.